So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the Public Service Watch Announcement channel. You know, on this channel, we try to bring you always the truth and what's happening out there. We try to bring you truth prices of what people are, trading watches for out there, what the number is for real. And I explained to you the other day, if you were smart, you heard what I was telling you, how I do my snake with my prices, all right? So as you know, this is a public service watch announcement, and we try to help all of you with whatever insight, you need regarding the watch industry. So we try hard, at least I try hard, and so does Kino. He tries really, really hard. We're not the most smartest book-wise, academically, but we defend ourselves, with a little bit of the street and a little bit of the books. All right. So we want to let you know about that. Don't forget, if you can, and if you don't have no arthritis, give us a thumbs up so this channel will continue growing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, because this channel is basically I can say 100% organic, or I can say 1,000% organic. We don't play with no wishy-washy, robots, none of that stuff. We don't play here. What you see is what you get. All right. I have a few things that I wanna share with you guys. A couple of topics that I want to share with you, and maybe you guys can also, inject, in the subject, and you can, an opinion. You can make your own opinion, of whatever you think. You believe, or whatever you think is right. You say whatever you want. It doesn't bother me. I want to start off with precious metal materials. The troy ounce of gold as today is at $4,004.10. All right. Gold is at $4,004 with 10 cents. Silver, the troy ounce of silver is $48.52. And platinum is at 1,553 with 46 cents. All right, so you know what's going on with that. Palladium, the troy ounce of palladium is at $1,418. And rhodium, rhodium is what they put on your watches to make it nice and shiny, and jewelry, all that good stuff is at $8,075 a troy ounce. All right, so you know what's happening with precious metal, and I feel very, very happy where it's at, where I believe, it's supposed to be before it takes off to the stars. Before it takes off to the stars, because it's gonna have to take off to the stars. I want to say something. I want to say something with all of you, and I need your cooperation and your help with this subject. They voted over there in New York City for a mayor, and he won, and he is basically I believe that he's a socialist or a communist, whatever you want to call him. I'm just saying what they say. I'm only repeating what I read and what I hear. But all this, sometimes the news is fake and it's not for real. But one thing that it does bother me, ladies and gentlemen, is that he's talking about to defund the police, the policemen, defund the policemen. It's very hurtful when, you're saying that you don't want to be in the policeman's team. You don't. I want to defund. Maybe we have some lawyers here, and they can explain to me what defund means. Because I have an idea. Me and Sweet Kick, have an idea, but we really don't have it solid. Maybe you guys can tell us. And you might be thinking, well, Juan, why are you talking about defunding the police? And I say, I'm going to tell you. If I have any Miami Organic Watch Channel subscribers here, please let me know you're from Miami, so you're going to be able to understand what I'm talking about. If you're from Miami. And if you're not from Miami, well, just make believe you're from Miami so you understand what I'm going to tell you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I told you again, this gentleman from New York City, this lambong, this lambong, this gonorrhea, this cockroach, he's saying that he wants to defund the NYPD. He wants to defund the NYPD. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had something very terrible that happened today in my city where I live at, where I walk the streets. It's Miami, Florida. And ladies and gentlemen, there was a big accident, and they sent for police to go see this accident, where it happened, to help out the people, Okay, Papa. All right. Okay. And okay, Swiftest. So they send the police to go to that accident. This gentleman is a young man, younger than my son, a 27-year-old kid, policeman, sent to the accident. And when he gets to the accident, to help out the people that were hurt, he went there by himself. He went there by himself to the accident, not thinking anything bad is going to happen, because he's going to go help people that are involved in an accident. So when he goes over there, they, I forgot the word, they ambush them, the people that crash, they ambush the 27-year-old, the 27-year-old kid, and they killed him. They went in there blazing and they killed him. They killed the kid, 27 years old. So we have Miami, Florida right now in standstill. all the precincts, from Miami, there are over 300 police cars and policemen in Kendall Regency Hospital. He's passed away. So it's sad. It's sad that people out there this time of the year, they go crazy. They go crazy, and desperate people do desperate things, and so this person is this police officer that was serving us to protect us has lost his life, because these people out there, and that can be anybody's son, so when they tell you the word defund the police, just remember that this young kid, full of life, starting to live, lost his life because these two infections, these infections that did this. But one thing that I am going to say, because I have to say this, I remember, not too long ago, that guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, he said that anybody that kills, assassinates, murders a policeman, automatically they will get the death penalty. So, he said that. And if he said that, I have a little bit of comfort now, knowing that he said that. Anybody that, commits a crime against a police officer, they're gonna delete them. I wanted to use another word, but I gotta stay in character. You know what I'm saying? I gotta stay in character, because if not, I'm gonna get teary-eyed. I don't want to get teary-eyed. And so respect to the police officers out there. Respect to all of them. Respect. Guys, I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about a subject. Terrible. It's terrible, Bobby. Terrible. Terrible. I mean, Miami right now is in shutdown completely. I'm talking about all policemen from all agencies are all over the place. They're all over the place. I'm talking about, if you're from Miami and you look at the news, I'm talking about there's a convoy of Christmas tree lights, you know, blue, red lights all over the place. A 27-year-old, you know, was assassinated going to help out people in a crash accident here in Miami, Florida, South Miami, Florida. You know, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the people here in ICE is in the Keys. Okay, it's you know, it's terrible what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, and this has to come to an end. But ladies and gentlemen, changing the conversation, you know, changing the conversation. As you know, we are entering, I believe, our 39th day of the government shutdown. You know, I was holding back from saying this to you organic watch channel subscribers for some time. I wanted to be quiet and not say nothing. But ladies and gentlemen, I feel like today, what happened today with that police officer, it made me like, you know what, just say it already. You say what you feel, you know? And I'm gonna say this to you, and it's kind of sad that I'm feeling this way, that allegedly I believe that. I believe that. Nobody else. Not even Kino believes this, what I'm going to tell you, you know? So we're going on our 39th day of the government shutdown. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you the truth, what I believe. And maybe you guys know what I'm going to say. Maybe you do know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to tell you. I don't see that the shutdown is going to open up again and everything is going to be nice and dandy. I don't think so. I think this is going to be, I think this is something in a big agenda they have, you know, government against government. I don't think that this shutdown is going to open up anytime soon. I don't think it is, you know, and that's not a good thing at all. As a matter of fact, it's even more, you know, just saying that we are on a shutdown is bad. But saying that, hey, I don't think this is just going to continue on. It's going to go on and go on. You know, we have airline companies that they're picking and choosing who gets to fly out. Do you guys know about this? You know, it would open up before Thanksgiving. Okay, listen, I told you this is your channel. I respect that, and I'm happy that you guys are saying that. You know, you guys are saying it's going to open up before Thanksgiving. I'm saying that this is going to continue prolonged because, okay, all right. So, but I still believe this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good to me, and it doesn't look good to a lot of people out there. You know, look at this. La Guardia Airport is closed. You know, we don't have no flights. Papi, this is you know, we don't have no flights. El aeropuerto, the airport is not moving. You know, people already are in the Thanksgiving, you know, mode. You know, they're ready to, you know, celebrate, embrace their grandmother, you know, coming home from the service, etc., you know, and it's not. Too many things are just happening, you know, exactly, you know, it's not nice. So I wanted just to say that I believe this is going to continue on. You guys are saying that it's going to open up before Thanksgiving, and, you know, every AI will, okay. All this, I respect that, but I see that too many things are happening in our country. In the United States of America, you know, esto está jodido, you know, esto está jodido. You know, when you're talking about that they're picking and choosing, well, this flight is going to California and this one is going to New York, we're going to let the New York flight go and the California to LAX shut it down. They can't move. Papi, no hay. There's not a, whatever it is, TSA, air, what do you call that? The guys are inside the tower telling you, they're, I forgot, those people. They talking the, runway 2, runway 4, take off. I don't know. The aircraft, those people. You know what I'm trying to say. You help me out with the word, I'll say that's the word right there, right away. Control tower, the control tower, Esto está jodido, Air traffic control. There we go. I want to get you guys involved in the show. You need to get involved, So too many things happening, but I'm happy because somebody said that before Thanksgiving, it'll open up, right? Okay, before Thanksgiving. So that's a good sign. Somebody is saying something different from what I believe, from what I believe. I see it going the wrong way. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say something that, you should all know this. Last year, for Thanksgiving, BET, BET or Snap, Snap, BET, one of those names, BET, Snap, Wick, whatever you want to call it, right? But let's say it's BET. I think it's called BET. They gave last year to all the people, the 42 million Americans for Thanksgiving. They gave them last year in groceries so they can, cook their Thanksgiving, turkey. They gave them $55 worth of food, $55. And now in certain places, in certain, EBT, thank you, EBT card. You see, what did I say? BET, EBT. EBT, they were getting $55 last year. And this year, ladies and gentlemen, so you understand, they're giving them $40. Papi, con la comida, with food, I don't play with food, man. You give food, you don't even ask questions. At least I don't ask questions. Here it is, and that's it, Simple as that. Simple as that. I don't play with food. They're giving $40. But one thing again, where you have to give some kind of credit, not that you care about the red or the blue, because I don't give a shit about none of those colors. They're not doing me no favors, and I don't care. I don't care. Para mí es la misma mierda con diferente peste. The same shit with different smells. But ladies and gentlemen, he has said that everybody that right now is buying, people that are in the SNAP or EBT, the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue said that anybody that's buying their own alimentos, their own food, they're going to reimburse those people. Reimburse. So that came to the table too. I'm showing you what's happening, Papi. I'm showing you what's going on, what's going on. So some of you agree, some of you disagree, and that's fine. That's part of life. I'm going to disagree with some things that you say, and you're going to disagree with some things that Sweet Kino says. I'm not saying it. I just read it. That's all, So he's doing that, He's doing that. And I think it's a good thing if he is going to reimburse the people. Honestly, somebody said here from one of our Organic Watch channel subscribers that this is going to finish before Thanksgiving. I see, guys, I see too many things. I see too many things I told you about, and I'm going to tell you again today because maybe you forgot. O'Donnell Rosie has prepared a big protest, a blackout from the 25th of November, to the 2nd of December. People that have jobs. She wants people that have jobs to don't go to work for a week. La lambona esa, lambona cucaracha esa, that cockroach is telling people not to go to work for a week, to protest. These people need every single penny they can get their hands on, They can get they need every penny they can get their hands on. But this person is telling them that, not to go to work and not to go shopping on Black Friday. But again, you guys are telling me that this is going to settle down before Thanksgiving. I really, really hopeful. I hope that it really happens, because I see our country right now is upside down, papi. It's upside down, and I'm telling you something. I don't see that guy in Pennsylvania Avenue working anything out with that shutdown, because it's too many. It's two monsters. Two monsters going at it. Which of the two monsters are the worst? I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know. These both of them, they fight with each other, and when they close the door, they're dancing with each other. They're doing the cha-cha. They're moving around, They're the best of friends. In the political issue, they go at each other. We're not going to let you do this, that, Es una jodienda. So I don't see that guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, he's doing this, he's doing that. But in this, I want to ask a question again to all of you. By him being the president, I know it's something stupid I'm going to ask, but can he just say, par carajo con todo eso, with all this, let's just open up this shutdown already and forget about it? He can't do that, right? It just can't happen, right? It can't happen. Hey, man, let's just open this thing up. Let's start giving Wonder Bread to everybody, grilled cheese, bologna, Coca-Cola, and all that good stuff. It can't happen that way, right? Nobody knows either. Aquí nadie sabe nada. Aquí no, ¿qué te puedo decir? Estamos mal, aquí no, estamos jodidos. To approve, okay? El Congreso tiene que aprobar. Congress has to approve, okay? So, a gentleman said it, and in this channel, he said that he believes before Thanksgiving it would open up. And I really hope that gentleman that said that, he is absolutely right, because esto está virado al revés, okay? Virado al revés. I'm going to go to another subject again, on the economy, how we are. I'm going to give you a watch market, and I got a good one. I want you guys to know that we have a soda. We have a soda in this country that is sold all over the world. All over the world, ladies and gentlemen, All over the world, this soda is being sold. And ladies and gentlemen, they're having trouble selling that soda, I used the word before. I think it was called EBT, right? Or ABT. Let me see if it sees. I can look at it again. Yeah, EBT. EBT got involved and said that when they were giving out their money to the 42 million Americans that use, SNAP, EBT, all that good stuff, that they didn't want these people to be drinking soda because it was bad. Exactly, Papa. Coca-Cola. Correcto, Papa. So exactly, coño, este muchacho está claro. ¿Quién es? Mr. Premium. Beautiful, Mr. Premium. You're on target. So they told, EBT told no more Coca-Cola in certain states. No more Coca-Cola because it's bad for your health. So the Coca-Cola prices have gone to the stars, to the moon in prices. And ladies and gentlemen, when EBT came out with that slogan, don't drink sodas because it's bad for your health, blah, 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 blah. They thought it was something normal what they were doing. But not only did the 42 million Americans, agree we shouldn't be buying Coca-Cola because it has that special sugar, it has a sugar that's bien mala, very, very bad. Now they switched it to, I believe, brown sugar, right? Brown sugar. And so, they took it out, and Coca-Cola, ladies and gentlemen, is not selling to the level of Coca-Cola they have been selling in the past year. So, just to let you know how things are in the world, even Coke is suffering. Even Coca-Cola is suffering from, from this situation of inflation, whatever you want. The world is upside down. Una locura. Everything is upside down, ladies and gentlemen. So, just to give you a little bit more of what's happening. I don't want to rub it in too much, but wow. Oof. Oof. Ladies and gentlemen, please read what Mr. Christopher just wrote down. So we have very, very smart people in this channel. We have very smart people. When I mean smart people, I mean all of you, okay? All of you. Aquí no hay se queda atrás. All of you are smart. So estamos jodidos, whichever way, somebody said, and again, do you believe that the government shutdown will open before Thanksgiving? Can you please give me yes and no so I can see how we're doing with our 29 Organic Watch channel subscribers, with 10 thumbs up, 10, 29, 10. Estamos jodidos. It went down to 27 quickly. They got scared and they ran. So what I'm trying to say is I would like to know if you guys also believe that the government shutdown will open some days before Thanksgiving. Knowing already what I told you, that lady O'Donnell, Rosie O'Donnell, you hope not. Okay, you hope not. Wow. You hope not. I hope not. That's what I see there. Yep. I hope not. So, we have some things que no están bien, muchacho. We have things que they're not good. I see that I honestly do not know. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, Papa. Thank you. So we have, you honestly don't know. One says, I hope not, So, okay. I can see it going to Thanksgiving, but I hope not. Okay. All right, so we have a few people that believe, yes, I think it's 50-50. I don't know. Okay, all right, Zodi, okay. All right, so that's what it is what it is. All right, guys? I'm going to give you a watch market update. I'm going to give you a watch. Saludos, Doc Mick in Florida. Saludos, Papa. I hope you were hearing what we were talking about. We talked about a few good things there and that you guys should know about. Did anybody hear about the murder, the police officer that got killed here by going to, serve on an accident? And when he got there, they ambushed them and they killed him. A police officer from Miami, Florida. And if you are from Miami and you turn the TV on, you're just going to see policemen all over South, the Southwest area of Miami. It's terrible what's happening here. And that Michiganer, the one that just won the mayor race over there in New York, he won it. That guy, Mamdani, whatever you call him, he wants to defund the police in New York City. Guys, we have probably here in the city of Miami, we probably have I don't know, we probably have like let's just say 2 million, right? I don't know. Somebody help me out. How many people are in Miami? 2 million people. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in New York, 5 times that over there. But that guy wants to defund the policemen over there in New York. So respect to all those police officers that put their lives on the line to protect all of us. And this police officer that passed away, he can be my baby son. He's 27 years old, My son is older than that, much older than that, and it's really very hurtful, Anyway, I'm gonna give you a watch market update so you can continue this Friday evening with a happy pace, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, our first watch, it is the AP Royal Oak Rose Gold, reference number 26320, 41 millimeter. It's an unbelievable watch. It has a black dial and it's chrono. Reference number is the 26320. It's an older reference, but the watch is in nice shape. And if you're looking to buy that watch, don't pay for that watch more than $63,500, all right? This is not the 26240. This is not the 26331. This is the remember again, the the 26320. Okay, just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex, a yellow gold GMT Jubilee 40 millimeter black dial. You know, unbelievable. They call this watch the Zombie. They call this watch the Zombie. It's beautiful. Yellow gold with a black dial, with a grayish and blackish ceramic bezel. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that watch more than $39,500, right? You know, be careful with your money. It's not a good time to be, giving away your money to these lambones. These people are not doing good at all, ladies and gentlemen. These people are on shutdown, you know. These people are on shutdown themselves. There's another character there. I'm going to tell you something now. There's another character out there, which I call him in a sweet way. I call him the Pillsbury Doughboy with the Taliban beard, you know. And he used to work in the stable. The Pillsbury Doughboy with the Taliban beard. He used to work with, in that stable of deputy boxing black eyes. You know, this kid was a walking book, you know, a walking book of watches. And he was unbelievable. And for some reason, you know, he also got the axe, you know, and now he's working for, exactly. I think that's his name. If that's his name, you know who I'm talking about, you know. And now, ladies and gentlemen, so you understand how they do this subliminal message, you know. You know, so they do this subliminal message. He's working now for another company. And I'm telling you this, and you're going to go, wow. Not only did he work, listen to this carefully, Papa. Not only did he work in that stable, deputy boxing black eyes stable, but they also had another one that worked there that I will call him in a sweet way too, Mr. French. You know, Mr. Frenchy. You know, he's I think he was from, he was from over there from Paris, but I think he's from the Caribbean. You know, from the Caribbean. You know, a nice gentleman. You know, and I believe that he is also working in that place, in that jewelry watch place. You know, Mr. French. You know, he's kind of a little chubby. You know. You know what I'm talking about or no? You know? Did you guys know what I'm talking about? So that kid is working over there, and the other one, Mr. French, you know, the Pillsbury Doughboy with the Taliban beard and Mr. French. They're working together now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, they're giving you now, listen to what they're giving you, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, leave this channel and go over there, take a look at their show. They're giving a watch market update. They're giving a watch market update with red arrows going like that down, and I think a blue one going up. You know, he's all pressed up. You know, with a double-breasted suit. You know, nice, and he's working in a real legit place, and he's talking about that now. Listen to this. Now that the watch market is already stable and is going back up, you know, it's time to start, buying watches. But, the Pillsbury Doughboy with the Taliban beard, he was not seen for some time, because, la situación está, the Amish, that's the Amish is another one. The Amish honey bun maker is another one. He's gone. He's the one. Let me tell you, these people are all crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand that the Amish honey bun maker, he went to a dealer, to trade in his Chrysler LeBaron, a Chrysler, I don't know, something, a Chrysler 900, I'm not making fun of nobody, but I'm saying that, I'm trying to make it cute for you guys. He went to trade in his Chrysler LeBaron. Remember the Chrysler LeBaron back in the day, He went and took it there, and ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe this. The guy went to buy a Maybach, making the pocket change that he was making, selling watches. He was gonna buy a Maybach. Anyway, so they're giving you the subliminal message. that the watch market is up and running. Esto lo que está running. This is what's running. Deep. En el orto, right? En el orto. Don't be smart. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Hawk. You know the Hawk, the guy with the, green ceramic bezel, green dial, 40 millimeter. Reference number is the 116610LV. Don't pay for that watch more than $15,900. I want to say thank you to this gentleman. Please forgive me. T-Dot, thank you very much for that super chat. Thank you very much. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And all the gentlemen in this show also appreciate that too. Give this gentleman a thumbs up. Don't be lazy, all right? Don't be lazy. No sean huevones. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Jaeger LeCoultre. The Tribute Mono Face. Reference number 218262. Silver reversal. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean this. You do whatever you want. It's your money. Listen, guys, if you guys have to leave somewhere, leave. And the repeat will be here tomorrow. You can watch it tomorrow. You don't have to stick around. You can all leave right now if you want to leave. No problem. All right? All right, just in case. Don't pay for that watch more than $16,200. Don't pay more than $16,200. This is a 2025. You do whatever you want with your money, but that's the price. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Richard Mille RM030 Rose Gold Titanium and with gold. You okay? Titanium with gold. Okay, Papa, you got it. Titanium with gold. And don't pay for that watch, the RM030. Don't pay for that watch. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch, a couple of weeks ago, they had it for $185, $190. They can't do it, Papi. You ain't suckers no more. Listen to Mr. Blair. You ain't suckers no more. Don't pay for that watch more than $162,000 and dropping, all right? You do whatever you want. Don't pay more than $162,000. You do whatever you want. I'm not a happy camper today. We lost a police officer today in duty, 27 years old. Let that sink in your head. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex Date green ombre dial, 40 millimeter. Reference number 228238. 40 millimeter. Ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that watch more than $53,000, right? $53,000. Don't pay more than $53,000. Respect, my brother. Respect. Always. No, mano. Feo. Respect always. Is that Zolo? What a day, man. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex. And this is another watch that you're going to go, wow. This is a Rolex Platinum Daytona. Arabic dial. You know, when this watch was out, this is the 116 reference, not the 126, the 116, 40 millimeter, blue dial, chocolate ceramic bezel, platinum. But it had the Arabic, numbers, That watch was over $250,000. $250,000. Does anybody know? Because I want to see where you guys are at. Does anybody know what I'm going to tell you not to pay for that watch? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Let me tell you, this is an unbelievable watch. I'm telling you, un relosazo. Does anybody know the number? And throw me a number out there. Let me see. I'm telling you, this watch was Arabic. This was for the in a different category. You want the platinum just with the regular blue dial, the chocolate. This is this price. You want this one? Esto es un monstruo for monsters. Look at that. $222,000 Doc Mick out of Florida is saying 220. Mike is saying 199. 199. Okay. Está bien, papá. Gracias. Mike, gracias. Okay, so we have tremendous number. 222, 195, 199. Christopher, throw me a number out there if you're still here. Throw me a number. I want to know where you're at. I want to know where you're at. I think Doc Mick said something, right? Doc Mick said something? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you see how fast I'm going to show you this? That gentleman, Christopher, he threw the proper number where it's going to. Where is that right now? How's that? You said 222, you're wrong. 199, you're wrong. 195, you're wrong. 170, you're wrong. You ready? You ready for the price of that watch? This is why you have to watch this channel, because this is the channel with the real numbers, ladies and gentlemen. The channel with the real numbers. Don't pay for that watch, and I mean don't pay. I mean, you do whatever you want. 116506. Don't pay more than 100. You ready for this? $134,000 and dumping. Debt. You do whatever you want. You do whatever. Don't be surprised, papi. You're watching the #1 watch market of the show in the world, papa. #1. ¿Qué Arabic ni Arabic? La rola le pega un número y más nada. Dale, ya llévatelo. Yeah, what's the big deal? It's a Dow. Stick on an Arabic number. Put an American number. Arabic, American. La misma mierda. No sean huevones. You know it. But you were right, Christopher. You went to the 160. No, it's not. But you're there. You were right. It's dropping faster than Billy Boy's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. That's all I got to tell you. No pueden seguir de lambones. No pueden seguir de lambones. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Rolex, stainless steel with yellow gold. That's right. The low, la baja. You know, this is a Rolex GMT, stainless steel with yellow gold, with a Jubilee bracelet. You know, black dial. They call it the Bumblebee. They call it whatever. I don't know what they call it. You know, those funny names, you know. Jubilee bracelet, 40 millimeter. And the reference number, just in case you need it, you know, if you want to look for it or something, is a 126713GRNR. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are asking 21,000, 22,000, you know. This, that, you know, los lambones, los huele, you know. I think I'm coming out of character today, so I got to take it easy. But anyway, don't pay for that GMT, Jubilee, two-tone, you know. Jubilee, two-tone, stainless steel with yellow gold. I already said the yellow gold one, Mr. Donut. Me gustó eso. Me gustó, Mr. Premium, me gustó. Don't pay for that watch. Mr. Premium said 17,005, and I got to be honest and tell you the truth. Don't pay for that watch more than $18,300. That's all I got for you. $18,300. You do whatever you want. You spend it as you please, you know? Maybe a little bit of jungle juice. Jungle juice for you guys. Our next watch, ladies and gentlemen, is a Rolex yellow gold date 40 millimeter ombre dial. Reference number 128238, 36 millimeter. Okay? Okay, you got it, right? Ombre dial. Ombre. Beautiful watch. And I'm going to tell all of you who like the ombre dial 36 millimeter, don't pay for that watch more than $43,000 in dropping, all right? And ladies and gentlemen, this is my last watch update of the evening before we continue our lives tonight. This is it right here. This is the Rolex yellow gold Oyster Flex. You know, Oyster Flex, yellow gold Oyster Flex Tiffany dial. Tiffany blue dial, ladies and gentlemen. This watch is behaving so erratic. Is incredible. You know, it really is. It's very erratic. So you guys got to be very, very careful when selecting this watch and buying this watch. This is a beautiful watch. It is a beautiful watch. 40 millimeter, reference number 126518LN. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, we try to give you, you know, the best price so you can take it to your favorite Muppet Boiler Room, secondary gray watch market dealer in Shorten. Again, I'm going to ask Donut, Mr. Christopher, Doc Make at Florida. Okay, you said 95. What price you think I'm going to tell you? Doc Make of Florida said 95. And let me tell you, Doc Make is in the right direction. Does anybody know? One more. We need one more. No. This is an Oyster Flex Daytona, Mr. Wicked. Okay, 105 with a blue Tiffany dial. Wow, Christopher, for real, you feel that way, huh? Guys, I want you to see what Mr. Christopher wrote down. He put down $125,000. Papi, that doesn't exist no more. It doesn't exist no more, that number you're talking about, 125. I'm going to tell you so you guys can skip along, you know, with your Friday evening. Don't pay for that watch and you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch. Wow, 114. I'm intrigued with you guys. Wow. A while ago, exactly. Tell them, Doc. I'm saying, wow. Don't pay for that watch. Don't get scared. You ready? Don't pay for that watch more than $93,000 and dropping. All right? It's what it is. All right, guys? There it is. That's your watch market update for this this beautiful evening. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a short one. You know, I'm sure that you guys have things to do, and I have things to do myself. But I wanted to give you a little bit a little info of what's happening out there. I want to wish all of you a beautiful weekend. Have lots of fun with your family members. Love them all. Love them all. Give them lots of love, man. Give them lots of love. Stay cool. Stay right always. Don't change on me. All right? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. And like me and Sweet Kid Kino say every week or every day, take care and brush your hair. Peace out, gentlemen. Thank you so much for all your support. All of you. All of you. Thank you so much for all your support. Love you guys. Stay smart, guys. Stay alert. Ciao. Ciao, Mr. Thurston Howard III. Un abrazo y un cariño, papá. Ciao, Christopher. Lo quiero mucho. Love all of you.